Hello guys, Igor here. It's a pleasure to work with you again. And today we're going to go through the SEO Checklist 2022. So with that checklist, you can start to have a notion about which kind of time investment would you need to make your website compliant with Google and raise your chance to rank organically. That is always the ultimate goal of SEO. Then you're going to drive sales, then you're going to drive authority, etc. Of course, you don't need to be obsessed to make everything at the same time in a way that you're going to improve SEO with time and you're going to do several activities daily to improve it. Think SEO more as a routine than something that you will make it done in one day. So it takes time, and I know you can do it. This is an overview of the topics you should aim to improve your SEO in 2022. And I am already considering the change that Google made in the last month. So first, the installation of some properties that are powerful for your SEO. So you need to have a Google Search Console attached to your website, a Bing Webmaster Tools attached to your website, Google Analytics, and Google Tag Manager. Of course, about Google Analytics, there are other providers for analytics, but usually you need that one because for ad purpose and tracking purpose. The Google Tag Manager will help you to load some kind of code outside your website, and it will make your website faster. So it's important to make it working as well. You need to have, this is mandatory, an XML Site Map. It's like the table of contents of your website. With the XML Site Map, you are telling Google which pages are on your website with blog posts and also how is the whole site structure. So you need to have that XML Site Map, and remember to add that map on the Google Search Console. Remember to have a robot text. This is simple to understand. Why do you need that? Is to select your not indexed page. For instance, your categories page, it's not good to be indexed. So those not indexed pages, they will be added and translated to Google by that robot text. Even if you do not have not indexed page, double check if the robot is not blocking your website to be crawled by Google. Accurate, attached to the console and Bing, the two tools here, double check if everything is working with your robot. Your site architecture. Remember, and that is really important when we're starting a new website. Otherwise, you have a lot of issues to organize everything from scratch. Remember to have organized topics and content. So with meaningful categories and meaningful pages in a way that you have a pillar page directly into your topics structure. Organized topics and content. For instance, if you're going to create a legal website, you're going to maybe have pillar page, constitutional law, criminal law, administrative law, and those are the topics that you will cover with blog posts, with your content. So remember to create with your categories and your page a meaningful structure that will make Google understand that you are an authority and that you know what about your writing, because you are structuring around the topics that you know are the main ones. Your theme, your website needs to be mobile friendly. This is really important. Mandatory. It needs to be responsive. So double check if you're using a mobile friendly structure. You need to have a 404 page. So when someone goes to a URL on your website that it does not exist, it will be redirect it to your 404 page. And then that 404 page needs to add helpful information. Why? Because you don't want that user to bounce. You want that user to stay on your website. So that 404 could lead to your social media, could add a search bar so people can search to find what they were looking for then before they arrived at the 404 page. And also your email, basic information, double check if your 404 page has your whole info. This is awesome as well. You need that. Your site needs to have SSL. Otherwise, the people will just block your website and people will not, even go to your website because their antivirus, their browser will block the website because it's not secure. So you need the SSL to make your website or blog secure. About plugins, add-ons, extensions. Of course, if you have a blog, probably you are using WordPress. So everything that you add on your sites and mainly the plugins, remember that they could not be well scripted or developed, and it can slow your website. And if it slows your website, you're gonna lose SEO points. Remember to use only the plugins that you need that improves your website in some way. Do not use plugins that you can, duplicate plugins that has the same functions, plugins that are not well developed, many plugins. So you can use the plugins, but you need to double check if the plugin is not slowing your website a lot. If it's slowing, you're going to lose authority. You're going to lose SEO points because Google aims page speed as an important factor for SEO nowadays. Remember that we are in the humane area. We are in the human phase of Google, a phase that's not more focused on SEO, on keywords. So it's not all about spamming keywords, not all about, writing the correct keywords in some place of your website. Everything needs to be organically and natural. So Google are searching for the best content, not for the keywords. The keywords is only a way to translate to Google that you have the best content. But if you're spamming keywords, if they are not contextualized, if you're just, trying to rank using keywords, you're going to miss the points because now SEO is about optimizing your whole website and giving it a context that will create authority, a context that shows that you have the best content. So those contexts means phrase, topics, answers, paragraphs that demonstrate that you know about the topic, that you know about what you're writing for, and that this blog post is a part of the whole structure of your website. So it's not about keywords. It's about finding the context. Your topic is writing around topics, not around keywords. You need to deliver the content the user needs. The Core Web Vitals is the new technique that Google is using to rank your website. So speed is important, responsiveness is important, and the visual stability of your site is important. So the whole factors are counting to make the best user experience. Because if the site is slow, user bounce. If it's not responsive, user bounce. If there's not stable, user bounce. So researching about the new Core Web Vitals is really important for SEO in 2022. And also, of course, as I said, SEO is a thing that you learn with time. You don't start SEO knowing everything. You make mistakes. That's natural. Check your pre-existing issues. You duplicate your content. You don't do that. Don't publish the same content in different websites. You're going to be catched on plagiarism. Also plagiarism, but and this will harm your SEO. Though, check if, for instance, you have duplicate content, if your site structure is not working because of past SEO strategies, if you spammed keywords in many blog posts in the past because in the past the keywords are more important than the context. So check if you have pre-existing issues on your website. And then SEO has the on-page SEO factors and external SEO factors that you need to know to have all your SEO strategy for 2022. You need to, type your focus keywords, but it's not about spamming and it's in a context. The keywords are still important. You still need to add them there because they are reflecting your topic, the thing that you are writing about. But it's not about spamming the keywords, adding the keywords. It's about writing it in a way that naturally you tell the story with the keywords. Pay attention on your content. Of course, as I said, the context is in the content. You need to have the best content. You need to have a good writing, small paragraphs that it will be easy to understand, and also covering the main features of your topic. Pay attention the quality of your content, because the content is what the user is looking for and what is solving the problem. And one of the main things that Google will check if you are the authority, if you have the best content. Title tags, of course, title tags, they will not, change everything on our SEO, but if you can write a good title, a good tag, a good meta description with talking about your topic and adding the main keyword, everything will help. Remembering everything's about topics, phrase, and not only keywords. So what topics are related to the theme or your blog post and the theme of your website? Which phrase users usually type to research about that topic? Which questions they make? So this is important on your one-page SEO. Remember the alt text. Usually people forget that. The alt text is important for SEO because it's the text that you add on your image to tell Google what the image is about. So you are, explaining the whole point of the blog post because the image has on that blog post. So remember to add in keywords on the alt text and explaining it correctly. Adding the alt text on the image. Also, it's a way of inclusion because people who have disability may need the alt text to understand the whole context of your blog post, of your website. And the structured data, you create that adding a schema. SEO Press has a schema. Schema Pro has a schema. When you add a schema, you are schematizing your website in a way that people know that it's home, and then the category, jurisprudence, and then criminal law, and then your blog post. So the schema will schematize your website and telling the map, specifying the map, your site map, specifying it, translating it, doing a schema about it. Remember to have, for instance, on SEO Press, your schema optimized. It's important as a SEO factor. And external SEO factors. So here it would be written backlinks. It's wrong. So your backlinks, forget about structured data is here. Your backlinks, you need to have internal backlinks, and also that is not, you don't command that, but you will be linked if your content is relevant. With time, it's natural. Then you're going to start to get backlinks, and getting backlinks, it raises authority because it means that your website is important. Okay. Local search. If you have a local business, see if you are added on the directory. See if you have the Google My Business, and adding the correct address, phone number, and the basic information of your company is important for SEO. And social media as well. Of course, if you have a strong social media presence, it means that you have a serious project. It can help SEO. It will drive more traffic. It will also tell Google that you are working on your social media. So having the social media that you can take care about. So don't create an Instagram if you don't have time to use it, but create the social media that you can actively work on it to grow. And this will improve your SEO indirectly. So that was our SEO checklist for 2022. I hope you like that class. Until the next time, thank you so much.